movement started a while back, but it is only recently that it started to gain traction.
Agitations for the inclusion of youth in politics is gaining the needed attention, and more young Nigerians have begun showing interest in holding political appointments and positions.
Now they are getting more involved in the decision-making process of the country. Joining us now is journalist Dari Odufowokan. Happy Independence Day and happy birthday to your wife.
Yeah, thank you. Your wife is that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, my wife
happy birthday to your wife.
First. Yeah, thank you very much. Happy birthday to Nigeria.
Happy birthday to Nigeria.
For me, it's double celebration.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about youth inclusion in the Nigerian space. When you talk about politics, a lot of Nigerians are, Nigerian youths are calling for a seat, at the table to deliberate. They feel left behind, and we had the Not Too Young to Run, trying to see if that could bring about the inclusion, but a lot of Nigerians believe not much was achieved. Nigeria is 60. How have we fared, and where do we go from here?
Well, I want to say sincerely that at 60, we should, as the idea should have been, as the nation grows, the average age of leadership should reduce.
All right, we will have to quickly ask you to hold your thoughts for a bit. We have our correspondent Femi Akonde, who is at the Eagle Square. He's joining us now from Abuja, where the Independence Day Parade is taking place. Femi, quickly bring us up to speed about activities at the Eagle Square as we speak.
Yes, Veronica, well, everything is already falling in place ahead of this Independence Day Parade. Just right behind me there is a state box where where very important persons, Mr. President, the Vice President, the Chief Judge, the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, members of the diplomatic corps, that is ambassadors, will be seated. We also expect a military display. There will be a march past here. We have seen a joint military force, the Navy, the Air Force, the Civil Defense, the police, all of them here will carry out a display during the course of this whole event. We're expecting the arrival of these dignitaries. Mr. President will be the last person to arrive here, and as soon as he gets here, that will signal the commencement of this Independence Day Parade. It will start with the national anthem. We would also see an aerial display by the Nigerian Air Force. They are going to fly their choppers just over the Eagle Square here, where the event is taking place. And a lot of things have been put in place. The whole area is organized. Security has been tight. Getting into this place is no mean feat, I must say, because everyone that got access to this place was thoroughly scrutinized by security agents before they were allowed into this place. So we expect the event to kickstart any moment from now. But what people are already talking about is Mr. President's speech earlier in the day. That speech, the takeaway for a lot of people is the need for national healing, as Mr. President has suggested. And that has started a conversation, and we expect that moving forward, this conversation will gain momentum. But all is set, and we await the start of this Independence Day broadcast. But this one is unique because everyone would have to comply with the safety, COVID-19 safety measures put in place. Everyone in here has to wear their face mask. I also have my own in my pocket. I just had to remove it for the sake of this live interview. And even getting into this place, everyone was sanitized, and the social distancing, we don't know how that will be achieved.
Okay, Femi, we'll definitely keep a tab on activities at the Eagle Square, so we'll get back to you to follow up developments from there. Thank you for bringing us up to speed. All right, Dari, our reporter there, correspondent rather in Abuja, telling us about the build-up to the parade, which is to begin in no time. Your reaction to that, and then you can continue.
Yeah, well, whatever happens, these are not times when we are smiling, actually. But we must celebrate the fact that some times ago, we were freed from colonial rulers. We must celebrate the fact that a particular day in history, we decided to take our own destiny in our hands. Right. And after years of colonial rule, we broke loose and we took freedom. became an independent nation, went ahead to become a republic, and today we are a 60-year-old country. So it calls for celebration. It may not be what we want it to be yet, but Nigeria is a reality, and we must celebrate it, just like we celebrate the birth of a baby and the adding of more years of any human being. So I am glad that irrespective of happenings around us, the government have decided to have it low-key, but let's mark the day. And it's not a bad idea.
Right.
I pray it goes well today.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to youth being involved, we talk about that involvement so much, and if you listen to agitation by youth, they always talk about being involved in governance, being involved in governance. But the point there is, before you govern well, you would have understood what it takes to be a good follower, being a patriotic Nigerian at that level, before you even talk about issues of governance. Talk to us, seeing from both sides. Do you think the average youth has been a good follower, to be a good leader?
I would express my fear in that what we talk about mostly is it's time for the youth to lead. We've not paid attention to what type of followers have we really been as youths, as young ones. The society usually gets the kind of leadership it deserves. And the kind of leadership the society deserves is always a fallout of the kind of followership. The leadership usually gets all the blame, and the followership makes all the noise. However, you discover that even the followership, with rights comes obligations. With rights comes responsibilities. We expect to be given our rights, but in most cases, we don't live up to our responsibilities. And that's where leadership, vis-a-vis youth involvement in governance, calls for proper scrutiny. If you are not a good follower, when you get into government or into leadership, you won't make a good leader. So we must pay the same attention we are paying to the need for youth to be involved in leadership, to ensuring that youth live up to responsibilities. If you look at the rate at which young ones get involved in corruption these days, cybercrime, if among the young ones, cybercrime, which they call Yahoo Yahoo, is now so legitimized that people boast about it openly. Then what kind of leaders do we think?
But have we created that environment for the youth to perhaps thrive and have that sense of followership? Have we created that environment?
Well, we may not have created the enabling environment. It may not be what it ought to be. But I want to remind you that in the 60s, 50s, 40s, we had environments that are worse than this. Because the infrastructures were not just there. Then we found leaders growing out of such environment because there was self-restraint. There was that determination to be different, irrespective of the society, of the environment. While I will insist that the government and every other authority needs to do more to ensure that the level playing ground is there, so that all youths will have this confidence that if I do it right, I can still be great. Of course, one of the reasons why youth veer off and go into criminalities is the fact that they are uncertain of making it, even if they keep on the right track. But if government and other authorities provide that enabling environment, at the same time, we, the young ones, or the young ones, should know that with or without the right environment, there is only one way to be great, and that is to be straight, to keep positive and not veer off into criminalities.
Dari Odufowokan, we must thank you for your time on the program this morning.